In the village of Karura, Mwangi and Wanjiru were a young married couple, but their home was far from peaceful. They argued constantly, often about little things. Mwangi believed his role was to provide food, and once he brought home the harvest, his work was done. He would sit and wait for Wanjiru to cook, clean, and serve him, while she begged him to help with small tasks. "Mwangi, can you fetch water?" she would ask softly. "That's your work," he would reply without a glance. Day after day, Wanjiru toiled alone. She grew tired, her back aching, her heart weary, but she stayed quiet. Mwangi saw her as lazy if she slowed down, and she saw no point in explaining her exhaustion anymore. One evening, Wanjiru was not well. She had stomach pains that made it hard to stand, but she still managed to cook. When she finished, she collapsed onto a stool, unable to move. Mwangi came in, expecting his meal to be served, but found her sitting there, the food untouched. "Why haven't you served me?" he demanded. I am in pain," Wanjiru whispered, clutching her stomach. "You're just lazy," Mwangi snapped. "I provide everything, and you can't even do this one thing." Wanjiru said nothing. She got up slowly and served him, her hands trembling, then returned to her corner, tears silently falling. Mwangi ate, but something felt wrong. He glanced at her and, for the first time, noticed how frail she looked. That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling. His mind kept returning to her face, to the way she had struggled just to stand. He wondered, who decided that a man can't help at home? Why should my wife suffer alone? The next morning, Mwangi woke early. He went to the well, fetched water, and lit the fire. When Wanjiru woke, she found him stirring the porridge. "Mwangi, what are you doing?" she asked, her voice full of surprise. "I'm helping," he said quietly, "and I'm sorry." Wanjiru stared at him, and tears filled her eyes again, but this time, they were tears of relief. She nodded, unable to speak, but her heart felt lighter than it had in years. From that day on, Mwangi changed. He helped her with the cooking, fetched water, and even swept the floor. The village gossiped at first, but he didn't care. He saw how Wanjiru smiled more, how the weariness left her eyes, and it made him happy. One evening, as they sat together watching the sunset, Mwangi held her hand. "Thank you for being patient with me," he said softly. Wanjiru smiled. "Thank you for seeing me." And in that simple moment, their hearts healed. Their home was no longer filled with arguments but with peace and love, built on the quiet strength of understanding and shared burdens.